Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Thank you so much for joining me. I am talking today on Triadic healing. It's something that you probably heard me throw around a lot, and it's all over my website, Triadic healing. And this is the space where I'm going to just step back and explain exactly what Triadic healing is if you are new to the Healing Garden. So, Triadic healing is the name of the very specific type of healing that I do. It's actually three parts of healing within three parts of healing. And it basically focuses on all three parts of healing. We are made up of three life titans. I'm going to go for it on you here, identity, our id, our superego, our subconscious mind, and our ego, which is our conscious awareness. You and me. This is every time you interact, that's your egos talking back and forth to each other. So when you heal, a lot of talk therapy, all talk therapy does is focus on trying to get you to process your traumas by understanding them and giving name to them so that you can actually unstick your processing center in your cognitive core so you can understand what happened to you. That's what they're trying to do. But it requires that the therapist actually be skilled in formal argument and debate. And it requires that they actually know this, and they don't. They're guessing. And there's a lot of information with a lot of holes in traditional psychology that the holes kind of go away when you go over to perspective psychology. Perspective psychology, which is what I do, absolutely fills in all of these gaps. And it's an understanding that mental illnesses come from a lack of being able to process information. Now, traditional psychologists will take that information. They don't take that information. They just hypothesize that when a person understands, they feel better. So they try to guide a person via talk therapy through events to get them to where they're going so they can process the trauma. So, translating all of that, when you sit down and you need to address an issue or understand your trauma, you are trying to get it unstuck in the processing of the cognitive core so you can understand what happened to you by naming it, by defining it. So, that is all how the subconscious mind works. Once you are able to identify it, you can actually determine where you are in relationship to your perspective or to anything out there, which is the study of philosophy, understanding and defining who you are versus where everybody else is. Now, this is where it gets fun. That is all traditional therapy does. They only focus on that. And to help you manage emotions, they put you on medications. To help you manage your mental disorders, they put you on medications. Now, when you step over into the world of the holistic arts, which I'm all for 100,000%, you are looking at nurturing the identity, making you feel better, becoming more mindful. But that only focuses on the identity. It only focuses on basically cognitive behavioral therapy. That's all it does, is it conditions your mind to behave a certain way through mental conditioning, meditation. But there is so much more to it than that, so much more, because you have the processing with toxic beliefs that must be put through formal argument and debate. Now, while all of that is going on, nobody out there is paying any attention to you, to the ego, to the conscious awareness. In fact, the conscious awareness is literally thrown out of this entire process. With holistic arts, you're not even looking at the subconscious mind, and the ego is completely ignored. And in traditional therapy, you completely ignore the ego and neglect the ego while you focus only on the subconscious mind. And they do that inadequately. Where triadic healing steps in is it does all three of those. It takes into account the role of each one of these, the role of the conscious awareness. The role of the conscious awareness is the captain of this whole shindig. You need to be aware of what's going on and how to manage it. So you need to be educated so you know what to do. You need to be trained to manage your ship. That's what the ego is supposed to be doing. The ego is supposed to be doing the job of the subconscious mind, but because it's not, because it's unaware, the subconscious mind takes over. So the subconscious mind tries to do two jobs. It keeps you safe, which is what it's supposed to do, but it does it badly because it's supposed to be managed by the ego to keep you safe. But the ego isn't doing that because the ego was not trained. As a result, the subconscious mind kind of goes off, does its own thing, and begins to self-sabotage. Now you have the wonderful world of mental illness opening up. So that is what subconscious mind is supposed to be doing. Subconscious mind is supposed to be keeping you safe. Self and identity is supposed to be navigating where you go in life, determining how you are defined, what you are, who you are, what you love, what you desire, what your wishes are. This is all your navigational system. Without identity, you go nowhere in life. Identity is the driving force that says you want to go somewhere, you want to achieve something, you love. So you accumulate and you surround everything you love with what identity is. Identity works very closely with your communication system and your boundaries. That's your defense system. And also very closely with intuition, which tells you when you should wait, when you should act, and when you should just stay put. And that's what intuition's job is. So when you have intuition, the communication system, defense system, and identity all working with the ego, the conscious awareness, the whole thing is beautiful. It really moves smoothly. And then you've got the subconscious mind and the fear system, which are kind of over there, supposed to be doing their own thing at a very low level. But that's not what happens. What happens is the subconscious mind goes rogue. It takes over. The fear system immediately gets fully activated. The defense system is thrown out. Identity is gagged and bound and thrown in the brig. And the ego is put into a conscious unawareness and thrown away. So you have this rogue AI with its fear system running your entire system. It's a mess. So, what I do with triadic healing is I nurture the identity, nurture the intuition, restore your defense system. I turn down via soothing, I turn down your fear system. We put the subconscious mind through significant discipline and we subdue that. And then the ego is basically trained to step in and take the role of captain of this whole thing. That is triadic healing. And that is something that is taught in literally everything I do. Anytime anyone approaches me on any of my classes, this is what they get. It's in my master classes. It is located in my workshops, in my integration workshops. And if you access my amphitheater, my newsletter, my daily amphitheater, that gives you access only to my self-care regimen, so your nurturing identity. And if you are on my YouTube channel a lot, you're getting a lot of information to help you learn how to manage the whole system using your ego, which is what this should be doing. Your responsibility with your ego is to take action and absolutely put yourself into this role so that you can actually just manage the system so that your subconscious mind doesn't take it all over like it has. So that is, and there's also the system restoration, which is the process of breaking everything down that you were learned and then rebuilding it. And then there's stabilizing it, and then we manage it. And that's the full healing garden experience, is the process of breaking down what you've learned and all of the abuse and the mental illness in the fear system, rebuilding and restoring everything to its former glory of where it should be had you been raised in a healthy environment and home, and then teaching your ego how to manage the whole system and then how to maintain it so it does not get out of control again. That is what we do here. If you love shit like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more shit like this, and if you want to get access to that healing garden plan that I just told you about for the self-care regimen, subscribe to my amphitheater below. And if you really can't get enough shit like this, become a member of the healing garden. You'll get access to the Power of Self, my monthly 5-day mini master power courses that are included with my integration workshop, Journey into the Self. So thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.